Tiger Eye through a celebrated journalist, Mr. Anas, Aremiao Anas, is advertised a documentary that is yet to be aired into the affairs of the Ghana Football Association. The President of the Republic has had the benefit of viewing aspects of this investigative piece. And in this documentary, the President of the Ghana Football Association, Mr. Kwesi Nyantakyi, is supposedly seen attempting to use the President's name and that of the Vice President and other senior officials of government to induce supposed potential investors into our country to part with various sums of monies. The President, as a responsible citizen, and indeed and in fact and more particularly as a chief custodian of our laws and enforcer of our laws, has had to consult and evaluate the content of this investigative piece. The President, after these consultations, is fully satisfied that a prima facie basis has been established for criminal investigations to be launched into the conduct of the President of the Ghana Football Association, Mr. Kwesi Nyantakyi, and any other accomplices that may exist. And therefore, the President has reported this matter to the legally sanctioned and mandated agencies of state, the Criminal Investigations Department of the Ghana Police Service, to commence investigations into this matter. I can confirm that the Criminal Investigations Department of the Ghana Police Service has since launched investigations into this matter. And if I may be specific, in aspects of the crime of defrauding by false pretenses, the investigations is ongoing. We want to assure the Ghanaian people that the President is determined to fight crime, fight corruption, fight influence peddling, fight bribery, and instill discipline, integrity, and honesty into our public life. We will entreat countrymen and women to be calm and allow the legally mandated security services to conduct their investigations and conclude those investigations.
At 19 minutes past 9 o'clock, good evening, welcome to Good Evening Ghana. Tonight there's a big matter on our hands. Mr. Kwesi Nyantakyi, who is friends with most of the media people and who is sufficiently loved by some Ghanaians and who is also the president of the Ghana Football Association. Ghanaians are eternally grateful to him for leading the Black Stars to the first ever World Cup in 2006 and again in 2010. Nyantakyi has been quite successful as a manager of the Black Stars. He's been criticized lately for the local football and the development of football in Ghana. The criticism came to a crescendo when he announced that he will be contesting once again for the Football Association president. But tonight, what has happened is away from football, but involves him and his integrity in a big way. As you know, Anas has advertised to show his investigative piece entitled Number 12 next week here in Accra and other parts of Ghana. Today, the bombshell came from the office of the president. That's what we showed to you. You saw Samuel Abu-Jinapor, who is Deputy Chief of Staff, explaining to the media what all this is about. Apparently, in the words of Abu, the president has had the benefit of the video, and the circumstances are such that Mr. Nyantakyi is reportedly saying on the video that he is able to compromise the president and the vice president for persons who wanted contracts in Ghana. Not football contracts, but they are football people. So the issue is all over the place tonight. We're in the studio with a lawyer and a sports journalist to try and understand the different dimensions of the story. So I introduce to you Mr. Kweshiga, Albert Kweshiga, I should say, barrister at law and a solicitor of the Supreme Court of Ghana, and also a law lecturer who is here to help us understand the legal dynamics of the matter, because it is definitely now within the context of law, as the CID has been invited to arrest Mr. Nyantakyi. I have personally had a chat on WhatsApp with Mr. Nyantakyi tonight, and he assures me that he is arriving in the country this week. I'll show you the WhatsApp chat so that you can believe it. Also, Gary Al-Smith, the celebrated sports reporter who has been speaking about this matter on Joy FM all evening, is also in the studio to give us different dimensions of the matter. So here are my studio guests. Albert, thank you for coming.
Thank you.
I called you at the last minute and you obliged. And of course, a kind of reunion for us in the studio, because we are all former staff members of City FM, isn't it?
Oh, really?
Indeed it is.
Yeah,
Yes. Albert and I were colleagues in the newsroom those days. He was slimmer than he is now, but life is good, I guess.
We can say so.
Let's start with you, Gary. How did you hear this?
We've known for a while that this will happen at Joy News, that this will happen.
That what will happen?
That there will be a reaction from the presidency.
Okay.
That, yes. That we knew that as at last week, Wednesday, the president had watched the video. We knew that. What we didn't know was when he would act upon what he saw in the video. So, and at this point, I'll say that Joy News is one of the official broadcasters and partners of this number 12 video. So we were getting ready also to premiere it and cover it in a big way. So
which date were you going to show it?
Afterwards.
After the public view on the 6th of June?
Yes, on the 6th of June.
Okay.
Yes.
So have you seen the video, Gary?
No.
Yes or no?
No, I've not seen it.
Do you know, have you seen the portions that the president got the benefit of?
No.
You haven't? Okay. Well, well, go ahead and finalize your submission.
So this afternoon, Evans Mensah, our head of political desk, got the information and then verified it, and then went on one of our flagship shows in the afternoon, The Pulse, to announce that the president had ordered the arrest, or had told the CID to effect the arrest of Kwesi Nyantakyi on the charge of defrauding under false pretenses. And once the president had done that, it was now easy for us to come out with the information that we knew, the background, and so on and so forth. So that's where we are. Then we got reaction somewhere around 5:30 or 6 that Mr. Nyantakyi said he will make himself available. The information we had was tomorrow. He said he'll be in Ghana tomorrow.
Okay.
Yeah, and he would hand himself over to the CID and to the police for further action, whatever it is. So that is what we know. We also heard Mr. Abu-Jinapor speaking there. We heard the Chief of Staff also speaking.
Madam herself?
Yeah, the Chief of Staff also spoke.
Oh,
There's a WhatsApp where she's
okay,
giving an explanation as to where the things have gone.
Did she speak to press?
I don't know who she spoke.
But she's videoed in it?
No, it's an audio.
Okay.
That's
All
an
right.
audio.
Okay.
Yes. Before the video that we saw,
okay,
our correspondent was there as well. So that's where we are. And then there's been reaction on...
This is a really integrity matter, and I don't know why... well, Mr. Akufo-Addo has won high marks for being an anti-corrupt leader and has his integrity. I have this document here as I was looking for this program where apparently I had forgotten it, but J.J. Rawlings had said that Akufo-Addo is a man of integrity. I think I saw it on Joy News. Let's have a look at that one.
Yeah.
The J.J. Rawlings says... the story is here. It says the former president, Jerry John Rawlings. Now that's it. I picked that up from one of the online portals. Akufo-Addo is not corrupt. That's what Mr. Rawlings says. Former President Rawlings, founder of the governing National Democratic Congress, and this 2016 before the election, has testified to the integrity and credibility of Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo, the flag bearer of the New Patriotic Party, saying that the opposition leader is not corrupt. Mr. Rawlings believed it would be extremely difficult for anyone to tag the MPP presidential candidate with corruption or any related criminal act, considering, and this is important, he says, considering his dislike for material things. The endorsement follows Nanado's declaration that he's not corrupt and will never be corrupted. Fortunately for them, referring to the MPP, they have a leader who is not known for messing around with material things, the former president said. The former president made the admission during an interview with the authoritative Nigerian newspaper, The Guardian, on a wide range of issues. When the issue of corruption came up, Mr. Rawlings literally lined up former military leaders and executed them for alleged corrupt practices. And he did not spare his party, the NDC. So that's the kind of background that this president is coming from. Let me ask you, Albert, so politically, when a corruption comes up against a person like that, do you think the president acted sort of in keeping with the principle to indicate that his hands are very clean, which is what Rawlings said about him and which is what really propelled him to the presidency as a leader who is not corrupt?
So, Paul, well, thank you very much. Normally, when matters come up, depending on the figure involved, the issue becomes a matter of public interest. So you see that if this were an ordinary, normal situation, would not have, heard about this matter. But you see, from the background the president is coming from, it would appear that he needed to react in a way like this, so that it would be in keeping in line with the background, and who he's been painted to be. So I think that the reaction, for now, to call for...
It fits the historical antecedents.
It fits the historical antecedents.
President
basically, yeah.
A non-corrupt leader. Gary, let's talk about this, and that's the interesting part. I don't know whether many people have been able to filter that out. The conversation was not about football.
No, it wasn't.
But that's interesting. So what was the conversation about?
Right, the conversation happened outside the country. It was purportedly a deal that was supposed to see Kwesi Nyantakyi facilitate certain contracts to be gotten in Ghana. Okay, there was also talk at a point of football, of sponsorship of certain football products as well, because invariably once they were investors, once he was able to carry their favor, obviously he would have wanted them to come into the football equation, so the Black Stars and then the Ghana Premier League and so on and so forth. But the main conversation was about contracts.
Why did they go and see him?
They went to see him to get his attention, and also because ostensibly they had heard that he was close to the president, and they could get his help. How
did they get access to him? Are they football people? Are they pure businessmen?
We don't know that.
So these are the undercover agents anyway. So did they present themselves as football people?
Yes, like I said, I've not watched the video, so I don't know how the mechanics of how they contacted him. If the way Anas does his videos is anything to go by, he will give a narrative as to why he did the way he did, and he will give those answers. But what we know is that it was at a hotel. He was picked up with a limousine. He was given the...
Which country was it, do you know?
5-star treatment. It was in Morocco, I think.
Morocco?
Yes.
North Africa.
Which is where he's based.
He goes there often. Why does he go there so much?
Because the Morocco World Cup bid for the 2026 World Cup is there. So CAF is helping them. I mean, the weight of the Confederation of African Football is being put behind the Moroccan bid. And so some of the top CAF officials, including Kwesi Nyantakyi and a few GFA officials, have been in Morocco for a while. So,
but they go there frequently. I've tried to reach him so many times. He's in Morocco.
He's in Morocco. So, for example, last week he came only because the Premier League had a new sponsor, which was Xylophone Cash.
And that was the last time he was seen in public before today.
So he came to town briefly. The thing was launched. The next flight he was out of the country. Yeah. So that was what.
Let's have a look at it, because I heard you say today on radio on Joy FM that you looked at his body language on that occasion, and by then he knew of these things?
Yes, he knew of these things.
Let's have a look at that video. Let our viewers see that video of Mr. Nyantakyi in the last time he was publicly seen in Ghana, which will be the launch of the Xylophone
Cash Premier League.
Xylophone Cash, actually, it is called. Xylophone Cash. So this is it. So that's him.
Yeah.
And Gary, you were making the point that his body language was...
I mean, if you ask all the sports media, because, we all knew that the June 6th documentary was coming. So a lot of the sports media did not go to the Movenpick Hotel to go and ask him questions about this.
They were asking questions about the video?
Yeah, people wanted to know.
Ibrahim standing over there seemed to be heckling somebody, pulling him away, something
So he was really shielded.
This is where we got our photograph from. He was texting somebody in the video.
Yes, he was.
Can you loop that and let's have a look at it again? Yeah, so this is where it starts.
And
there he is.
If you've seen Kwesi,
so this was at the Movenpick.
Yes.
Okay.
If you've seen Kwesi Nyantakyi at any sponsor unveiling, he's usually because it's difficult to get money for football.
Okay, so his excitement
so
is obvious.
Yeah, excited and all that. So some people said, a few people close to him said that because he was tired and all that. But I mean, really, we are talking about $2 million per year for the Ghana Premier League. Guaranteed sponsorship for 5 years. This man virtually is going to sponsor the league. Kwesi Nyantakyi has been bashed at infinitum about his inability to preside over a product that is clean, that is fine enough for corporate Ghana and so on. But anyway, I mean, body language can be read in any way.
Now,
so, yeah.
given that is that the only thing that has Nyantakyi in the video sort of in a bad light? Is there any real football conversation?
No, not from what we know.
Okay, this is the main thing?
This is the main thing. Maybe there might be small...
But this one is not on football.
This particular thing is not on football.
It means that his position with CAF, even if with GFA it becomes complicated, his position with CAF and FIFA might be secure.
You see, that is where it's...
And viewers who don't know, tell us, what is he at CAF? What is Kwesi Nyantakyi at CAF?
He's the vice president.
Fundamentally that?
Yeah.
He's the number 2?
He's the number 2.
At the Confederation of African Football?
Yes, he's the second most powerful man in
That's a big one.
Yes. Also, if you watch the international media reaction to this story, they are calling him the FIFA Council member to make it more relevant to their audience.
Okay, so he's a FIFA Council member.
He
ran the 24?
Yes, he ran that election, if you recall.
Yeah, the powerful 24.
Yes.
He's there?
Yes, he's a FIFA Council
member. So of the 24 men and women who control global football,
he's one of them. So the thing is that...
And he'll be the first Ghanaian to get in there.
Yeah.
FIFA 24.
Yeah, because it's new. The structure has changed a little bit from what it used to be. But to answer your question directly, FIFA these days are very careful about a lot of things. Because, for example, 2 weeks ago, we know that Fatima Sarmura, you heard about the
Sierra Leonean lady, was it Gambia?
Senegalese
lady.
The allegation that they tried to paste at her. Apparently, somebody said she is complicit in the Morocco 2026 bid. Why? Because El Hadji Diouf, the former footballer, is an ambassador of the bid. And they accuse her of conflict of interest. Guess what? Why?
What's it?
Because her full name is Fatima Samura Diouf.
So she's related to
El Hadji Diouf, so it's conflict of interest. And she said, it's just like your name is Adom-Otchere, and somebody's name in the UK is Kwesi Nyantakyi, and they said, so it was so favorable, so they threw it out. But these are the kinds of, this is how petty FIFA has become.
FIFA has become more sensitive
to all these things. So they go through what they call integrity checks now before you get to a lot of the top positions. And Kwesi Nyantakyi has been touted for a long time as being one of the star boys coming out of Africa. It's been said around for a long time that if he continues going on this trajectory, he could easily become the first black president of FIFA. That's how much it is. As for the CAF presidency, it's almost a given. A lot of people feel that after Ahmad has his tenure of office, Nyantakyi is likely to. So all these things, right now, if even in the events that he gets away from all these things in Ghana, out there, it will be one in the basket for them. People are going to use it to accuse him until thy kingdom come.
Even though this is not directly related to football.
That's the point.
Okay. Let's come to you, lawyer. Defrauding by false pretenses means what?
Well, so basically, if you look at the Criminal Offences Act, and in fact, I don't want to bother our listeners with the sections and all that, but you see, it's basically an offense which says that you have made a certain false, on the basis of a false pretense or a personation, have procured somebody to part with ownership or property in something.
So you are part with money, for instance.
to part with money.
Hold on a minute. Gary, did money change hands in the story?
Well, sir.
Yes.
Or is it just talking? Or from what you know, did money change hands?
I didn't see the video, but money changed hands.
Yeah, I know. We know. Okay. We won't talk about that. Well, but from what you know, money, yes. And it's a lot of physical money.
Physical.
It showed money given. Collect.
Okay.
Those millions that is said in the story.
No, those weren't millions, but money changed hands.
Based on the representation that Ms. Nyantakyi made.
Yes.
Okay, so that's grounded. That's interesting.
Well, so
dollar or
city
in Morocco, so dollar.
Well, so Paul, that's very interesting. So I mean, so that's the nature of the offense, and I need to explain this. Now, when we talk of false pretense, so you have there's a false pretense and there's personation. Those are the two major legs of the offense. Now, by false pretense, what you have done is that you have made a representation that some states of facts exist when in fact they may not exist. And based on that, somebody relying on that will part with a property or ownership in something. And then the other leg is personation. So you claim to be somebody you are not. But on the basis of that, somebody parts with something. So this is the nature of the offense which is likely to be brought against Mr. Kwesi Nyantakyi.
So the critical ingredients of this offense is that he must have done one of the two things.
Yes.
To have represented that he can achieve something.
Yes.
And on the basis of that, the person gives him money.
Very well.
Okay.
But Paul, you see, so the other part is that the other leg of the law is that at the time of making the representation, he should have known that what he was saying, he didn't believe in it. Now, so if you look at the tape, so if the man has said,
that's interesting.
Yes, so having seen
he should have known that
at the time
that what he's saying,
he doesn't believe in it. He didn't believe in it. So it's interesting.
That's complicated.
And those matters will go to defense, for instance, because if the man can show that my conversation on the audio or the video, for instance, I mean, he knew that what he was telling them was possible, he could do it, then it becomes a very complicated matter.
But how are you going to verify that? I mean, he's going to go into the dock and say, I could do it. How are you going to show?
That's the point.
How is prosecution going to show that you couldn't have done it?
But that's a problem. And so the prosecution is going to have a very tall order. That offense is one technical offense, and you have to be, and the burden on the prosecution is that they must prove the case beyond a reasonable doubt.
Then personation might be easier. That's easier. That's straightforward.
Yes,
so I turn up, I say, Minister of Tourism.
Yes.
Minister of Tourism is publicly known. There are records to check Minister of Tourism. But I turn as I say, I know Gary.
Yeah.
And you say, I don't know Gary. And I say, I know Gary.
Yeah. You see, so that's the task the prosecution is going to have, at this level, if they have to charge Nyantakyi with that offense. Now, they have to show that at the time when he was making the representation that I could lead you to this person and do this, do A, B, C, D, he knew that he could not have done it. But he said it in order only to get you part with something, the ownership of it. And that's the end of the matter.
So just from a layman's...
Yes, go ahead.
If they can't prove the first part, but the second part, that because we saw that probably he was taking money.
Yes.
So he will be charged with only that part.
Yeah, so that is it.
They have to demonstrate that
they have to demonstrate.
The representation he made is false.
Was what elicited.
Not just that it's false, but he himself knew or ought to have known that what he's saying is false.
Yes, but then they can charge him for collecting under false pretenses.
That's when you can charge him for collecting. If you can show that from what the lawyer is saying, if you can show that what he said, he knew or ought to have known that is not true.
It's not true. But he said it all the same, and based on that, yes, the monies were given to him or something.
Because like we know and can say now.
But you see, the monies that he was, according to the story, asking to be given to the persons, it will be illegal for those persons to collect that kind of money for the purpose of the transaction. That's not how transactions are done legally. If you're an investor in the country, you don't come and go and pay president, vice president. You don't do that. You come the Ghana Investor and Promotion Council, So the representation that he was making was false under the regulation. So can that not?
No, but Paul, you see, I mean, it will be too early to conclude based on that. So I'm saying that.
But that's not how business is done.
Yeah, that's not how business is done.
On paper, that's not how it's done.
That's not how it's done.
Yes.
But you know also that, we know for a fact that in the kind of system we operate, there are people who claim to have influence on other people, and they can use that as capital. You get it? To get other people involved. So if what the man said in the video, right, that he could lead people to this and all that, really, and it turns out that it is something that he knew was a lie, he could not have done it at the time, then he has committed the offense. But if he can show that, well, what I said that I could do, I could lead it to the president, do A, B, C, D, if it shows that he has some previous discussion with the president.
How is he going to show previous discussion?
No, but of course, I mean, this is communication, so you can always show. It's a matter of evidence. When shove gets to push, people will look at all kinds of evidence just to make up their case.
Yeah.
And I'm saying that when the guy is put in the dock, and he has to defend himself and to say that when I said I was going to lead you to A, B, C, D, I knew at the time that what I was saying was true, and I had knowledge I could do it.
But the thing that he was asking about itself was criminal conduct. If it is so, give me money to go and give to this high office holder. That's criminal conduct.
Well, that's criminal conduct.
Yes.
But that's the nature of the offense. If you charge him, the man must put up a defense.
Sure.
So he's going to look at the elements of the offense or the ingredients of the offense, as we say it. And if the prosecution is not able to show.
You see, the point I'm making about that is, I know there's going to be a lot of legal debate, but the point I'm making about the subject matter is offense, is an offense.
Yes.
The subject matter is corruption, really.
Yeah, it's
so
corruption.
it is like saying that we have a conversation about, I will be able to kill X for you.
Yes.
You want X dead.
Yeah.
I will be able to kill X for you.
Yeah.
It turns out that I can't.
Yeah.
I don't know where he lives. I don't have a gun. I don't know how to shoot.
Yeah.
But I tell you that I will be able to shoot him.
Yeah.
So I take money from you. Yeah. Wouldn't the courts and the prosecution, the courts actually be interested in the fact that the conversation itself of murder is an offense?
No, Paul, I agree with you, but I'm saying that when it comes to the offense, that is one side. Do you get the point? It's one side. You are being charged with a particular offense. And the offense, the elements have been defined in law.
Okay.
So the prosecution is going to go against the man.
So it doesn't matter that the subject of our conversation itself.
At that point, the criminal offenses.
They can charge you for that later.
They can charge you for that later. But as it is,
okay, I get the point.
It's not really a big issue.
This law is complicated, and Gary, it's not like
football. It's not straightforward. But that is where things would get really interesting.
But now that investigations are coming up, this evening, Nkrabea Efadate, the former presidential candidate, former member of parliament, indeed former deputy attorney general, has said that he will go to court to injunct the video because the publication of the video will prejudice the outcome of the police investigation. Will that be something available to a person who has been charged under a video that's yet to be published?
Well, I see the issue of prejudice, right? So let me pick it from what my learned senior has said, because I'm in a case, I do cases with him. So now he's saying that he's going to challenge.
He's going to look for an injunction order against the thing. First of all, because the evidence was procured illegally. The lawyers have said that forever. Anas has survived that forever. Anyway, we had the judges, even judges, they couldn't sustain that argument against Anas that he procured it illegally. And the judges went into the cooler. Okay. So we've heard that over and over again. What is the state of affairs in the courts right now?
No, maybe
over that issue.
Maybe or hopefully maybe this time around Anas may not survive.
Why do you say that?
There's a very recent Supreme Court decision. I think the Supreme Court decided on the matter in 2018, and I believe
on the Anas matter.
No, not on the Anas matter, but matters related to acquisition of secret recording of people's conversations.
2018 Supreme Court.
Oh yes.
What did they say?
You see, that's the case of Rafael Kubaji versus Asari. It's a Supreme Court decision. Now, this has to do with a party in a suit who procured by secret recording a conversation that another party, in the suit was engaged in. And he sought to tender it in court against him. And in fact, the lawyer for the party against whom the evidence would have been used raised the issue. Now, the Supreme Court was called upon to place interpretation on a number of things. In fact, the question there was whether evidence acquired in breach of a constitutional right, for instance, Article 18.2, which talks about the right to privacy, to your correspondence, amongst others, right? Whether evidence acquired in breach of such article, right, should be admitted in court. This is about the admissibility of secretly acquired evidence. And the Supreme Court was clear in Rafael Kubaji. In fact, in that particular case, they excluded that evidence.
Was it a unanimous decision of the court?
It was unanimous.
How many judges?
Well, I haven't taken pain to look at that, but I'm just saying it was 7 judges. And so basically, the Supreme Court has said that when it comes to such evidence, right, the courts must look at it carefully. Now, in that case, there was a two-stage approach. The Supreme Court looked at Article 18.2 and said that this evidence was actually acquired in breach of some fundamental rights or constitutional rights. But they went on to say that in such situations, the judge has the discretion to decide whether to admit that evidence or to what, exclude it. But in the decision last year, the Supreme Court excluded a similar secret recording in the case of Abena Pukua versus ADB.
So what then is the law?
So I'm thinking that the current jurisprudence, what we are getting to, Paul, as I say it, is that the Supreme Court is now beginning to frown on, secret recordings. Yeah. But you see, if you even look at Article 18.2,
these secret recordings that you refer to do not compete with public interest? The case of Anas, there's a clear competition between the breach of privacy and public interest.
Public interest.
And in all the cases that Anas's work has been tried, public interest has won.
No, I agree with you.
So maybe Anas's position has not changed. It's public interest.
It's not really changed.
Public interest might override the...
No, but you see, it's always been there. Now, I mentioned Article 18.2, where issues of privacy rights and all that come in. Even that provision is subject to other national considerations, national security, and among so many other considerations.
What is the privacy context in this matter? I mean, you had a conversation with people who were going to do business.
Yes.
You spoke your mind.
Yeah. And
it was recorded. So what has been breached?
Well, you see, so that's why, I mean, this even gets more complex. Now the question is, the conversation Mr. Nyantakyi was having, was it a private conversation? Can we term it as such? Was he acting in official capacity? These are questions that the courts may have to answer.
Yeah.
So if it's official capacity,
that's a very good.
Then it raises the public interest matter.
It raises the public interest matter.
Yes. But he's a
GFA president.
He's
not
official.
You see, pardon?
Is that GFA president an official position?
No, it's not a government position or anything.
Are they not under the Ministry of Sport?
No, they are not. The FIFA is an autonomous body, which is why they can say that if you interfere. So what a GFA is, and they have said this forever. Anybody who watched the Jamaica Commission and the proceedings, well, when he came and Lawyer Adom-Otchere came and Kofi Menu came, they kept saying ad infinitum that the GFA holds in trust football. They control football in the country. They are a representative of FIFA. It is only they who can raise the national team. So if you see 11 players going to the World Cup and they say this is the Ghana team, it does not belong to the Republic of Ghana. In truth, it belongs to the Ghana Football Association.
Yeah, because FIFA is an association.
That's the point.
FIFA organizes a tournament.
So this World Cup we are going to see.
And members of the association go to
So in purely legal terms, when they go to the World Cup from 6th June and you see the countries there, they don't represent the Republic of Brazil. It is the Football Association of Brazil. In purely legal terms.
I get it.
So that's where Mr. Nyantakyi can wriggle his way. So
he's a private man. He's a private citizen.
Yes, and you see I'm thankful for this education because something has just flagged in my mind. The video, like you said, established from the beginning, is hardly a football matter.
Yes.
Indeed, he says that the contract he's going to award are for road contracts, which is why he says that, he can influence the president to the tune of X $million, vice president to X $1 million, minister to X $1 million, deputy minister to X $1,000. Then he mentions that, even the president wanted to make him road minister because of his role in the campaign of the MPP. He says it in a video. And that he said he didn't like it. And that's
wild. That's very wild.
But you see,
that
maybe
I even as a journalist, I can say it's not true.
You see, but whatever it is, it plays into what he says that did he act as a part? Maybe he was just, as they said, as somebody told me before, no, Janunum. So if that is,
he was bragging.
Yes, he was bragging. In which case it is not admissible. And if that is proven, I mean, he said just to bolster if I'm his lawyer, based on this education, you know what I'll say? I'll say that if you watch the video, didn't you see that my client said, Anthony Cabo is a small boy? He said it in a video. He said Anthony Cabo is a small boy, so he can sort out the road contract for him. So if all that is true, he can easily prove that he was not acting in an official capacity.
That's
because he's a GFA president. He is not. So if you were fooled by the fact that he said he can take you, then you were a fool. He wasn't a fool.
So the issues are quite complex.
So the Supreme Court position is what you have articulated right now, but we don't know how it will compete with public interest when public interest comes up.
Yeah.
And the conversation is where we are because we are talking about public interest, and you're giving the denominator of unofficial, public official, which is what the judges were actually. Public officials.
Yes.
Okay, he's not. Kwesi Nyantakyi is not a public official.
No,
from what Gary is saying, I'm not thinking so. And from a purely, company law perspective, I mean, GFA is registered as a guarantee, public guarantee company. So it's not really one of those state-owned companies you can.
So who are the shareholders in GFA? The clubs.
The clubs.
And the clubs are private.
Yes,
private.
And that's why they are so powerful and so autonomous. And that's why when they are going for election, they say.
So why do they want government to give them money? Why does government give them money?
Paul, we need another 2 hours to
discuss that.
But to distill it, the FIFA regulations that we signed in 1957 or wherever it is we're joining. You see, football is a passion point. So when every country was signing it, they just assumed because the people in your country like football, what you sign when you're a member of FIFA is this. Me, FIFA, I'm sitting in Switzerland. I am electing or I am putting a representative of FIFA in your country. In Ghana's case, it's called the Ghana Football Association. They are representatives of FIFA. What is their job? They oversee all football competitions in Ghana. Their job also is to raise national teams so that when they are coming to my competition, which is FIFA, they will come on the ticket of Ghana Football Association. They are not coming on the ticket of Republic of Ghana. So if you, the state, decide to give the Ghana Football Association money, that's your problem.
Your business.
Do you understand? And that is the thing. That's why people like Nina Tivanapoy were able to, break because he understands it. So he can say that, look, these people you are giving them money for the AFCON, we don't need to give them money. Because we don't owe them anything. But what governments and various football association administrations have done is to play to the gallery. And which is what this case is becoming. You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And that is why somebody like Captain Krabia Ifeadate makes a very good point that it can prejudice the outcome because we are in a sentimental and a sensational country. Between now,
we like the dramatic.
We like the dramatic. And even though, you see, now we are distilling there. Anybody who is watching Good Evening Ghana will leave this program knowing that, you know what, Kwesi Nyantakyi can come to this country tomorrow, and by next week he'll be a free man.
Let's see whether he's coming to this country. I think he's, as Gary said, he's spoken to him. But I had a WhatsApp exchange with him, which I'm going to publish right now. I'm taking the liberty to publish it.
With his permission?
No, not with his permission, actually. On my own whims and caprices. Let's have a look at the conversation on my phone. The screenshots, which we are publishing right now. If it's ready, it'll come on the TV and you see, okay, so there it says, okay, so that's how I saved his name anyway, by the way. So line 1 is me and sorry. I was looking for his lawyer. I couldn't find him and I sent him some text messages. And then I said that, Gary, your name is in there. Said, we'll discuss on TV tonight. I'll discuss on TV tonight with Gary. Can we say that you will come to Ghana soon, even next week? And then
can you do an interview when you come?
Can you do an interview when you come? Inshallah, all will be well. And then he says, yes, Paul, I am coming to assist the police in investigations. I said, sure, thanks. See you when you come. So that's evidence that Mr. Nyantakyi is going to arrive in this country for everyone to see him. Albert, when he arrives, what will happen? In terms of the procedure.
Okay, so I have been reading on social media, I've been hearing a lot of things in the media that the president has ordered the arrest of Mr. Kwesi Nyantakyi. I mean, when I heard that, I was extremely concerned because if the president would be the complainant in this matter, then I think the proper thing to do was to have gone to a police station to lodge a complaint, like any other citizen. Now, once he does that, he decides to become a witness, and he might decide to come to the court if he's willing and able. So when I heard that there was an order for the arrest of Mr. Nyantakyi, I was extremely concerned because I know that in law, only a district magistrate can order the arrest of somebody.
I don't know whether the nomenclature was not properly put across. You mean the president doesn't have... I mean, when you've said this about the president,
yes,
the president whose integrity is really his political clout,
yes,
and you say this about him, and he's president of the country. He's the fountain of justice, isn't he?
Yes.
Yes.
But,
so
but from the way the law is, and I know that nobody's above the law. Look, we are a country of rules and regulations.
Correct.
We are a country of rule of law. People's conduct must be ordered in accordance with predetermined rules. I mean, beyond that, there's nothing else. Because if you allow people to do things on their own, that gets into the realm of arbitrariness, and really, no democracy will survive on that.
Shouldn't we look at it in terms of the complainants will be the people who paid the money, who must have paid the money on the basis that president was going to deliver something. They found out that has not been delivered. They've complained to the president that, sir, we paid money to this guy because he was going to deliver roads to you.
The president should have told them to lodge a complaint to the police and not to make an order for the arrest. That's the problem.
Given his role as president.
No, but you see, that is the issue.
Procedurally.
He should have told them to lodge a complaint to the police so that the process will be triggered. Now, you ask me what will happen tomorrow if he comes into the country.
If he arrives in the country.
Now, so I'm in the light of the order for his arrest. I don't know whether they would go through the formal arrest. Maybe he'll present himself to the police. Yes. And once he presents himself to the police, the issue of really arrest and all that, we know.
When he presents himself to the police, what will happen?
Yeah, when he
they will read his charges to him?
No, when he presents himself to the police, I'm sure that they will inform him that he's been charged with an offense ABCD, right? And at that point, he has a right to make a statement. For instance, he can also give a statement to the police. In fact, I'm sure that is what they are going to ask him to do. You see, normally in criminal proceedings like this, you would normally be invited, and then you'll be required to give your caution statement, because the police will tell you that we are about to investigate a matter of such magnitude. So you give your caution statement, and then within a certain period of time, they will conduct further investigations. When they have gathered enough dossier on your matter, then they will now invite you. If you refuse to go, they will arrest you, and when they bring you, they will charge you with the offense, because now they have enough basis to charge you. And at that point, you will give your charge statement. In a normal course of things, that is what should happen.
Okay.
And then you end up in court.
Will they put him, when they find him tomorrow, will they put him at the prison cell?
Well, that I cannot say, but you see, I mean,
one of our reporters said so.
No, that's just to create a sensation. I mean, that's
put him in a prison cell.
Well,
yeah, they have to.
They can keep him over there just for sensational reasons. But you see, the police even have the power to grant self-recognizance bail. We know Mr. Kwesi Nyantakyi.
Yeah.
I mean, why would you want to keep a man like this? He's not going to run away. He's somebody who will want to face the matter being brought against him.
Sure.
And I know he has competent lawyers who will face the matter squarely at all levels. And so why would you take him through that kind of situation by trying to lock him up? To serve what purpose when the man is not running away?
Yeah, sure.
Really?
Okay.
That would be
Let me take a break. I need to drink water. I'll be back in just 2.5 minutes with my guest, and we continue. I've seen that Facebook is cracking with messages, and our eyeballs are just going through the roof. I'm sure it's because of Gary and lawyer. After the break, we'll be right back. Let's play that video for viewers to see and have a good laugh. We'll be right back after the break.
Mama kuma Minya mikasa Ameradikasa Yeah Eradikasa Mama kuma Tomiyomo Minya mikasa
September 1st, Ghana is going 100% paperless at the port.
We are here for all of us our interests, not for any individual interest.
As for paperless, no dear, but we need more education.
Any situation which throws light is a good situation. Iron Port is a perfect intervention.
Iron Port is also adding to the growth of the countries going forward in development.
Iron Port has come to upgrade and promote the industry news.
Thank you very much.
This is Iron Port, a program designed to bring activities of the port closer to you and you closer to the port. Iron Port, showing this and every Sunday at 6 p.m. and Thursdays at 2:30 p.m. on Metro TV. Iron Port, transparency in doing business and building nation. Proudly brought to you by
Ladies and gentlemen, introducing the self-proclaimed king of primetime, officially the youngest old man in Ghana, the man who says old age is an option, the man who says he's got swag in his jeans. The man is here today. Sit back, kick up your feet, chillax, and get ready for GH's sizzling primetime show. Now, GH, put your hands together and show some love for the alleged king of primetime, KSN.
The KSM Show.
In the name of Almighty Allah, the most gracious, the most merciful, It's another season for Muslims to renew their spiritual vows.
From the table tours by the roadside, the bend-down boutiques will discuss the market, financial growth and investment, agric, business development, manufacturing, transport, oil and gas, you name it. My name is Emmanuel Kwesi and we discuss this and many more on Business Edition. Join me every Tuesday from 8 p.m. to 8:30 p.m. live here on Metro TV.
Welcome back to the show and thank you very much for your time. Text messages coming up say, Dominic Boahini says that Songo has been vindicated. Abu Majid says, Paul, talk about the 89 million scandal at the NCA. Is there an 89 million scandal at the NCA? Okay, that's not our topic for tonight. As you can imagine, this is more topical, isn't it? Albert Ano Donko says, somebody's stomach. Do you know Albert Ano Donko?
Oh, I don't know him.
Ah, okay. Ras says that we are watching live from Zebila. Okay, thank you for watching. Kwabna says this looks more like a cover-up because the president's name has been mentioned. Koku says that, look, Paul, this whole Kwesi, it is actually, Nyantakyi brouhaha is much ado about nothing. It is clear diversionary tactics deployed by this government to take our minds off the NCA 89 million scandal. The president, we are told, watched the video last week. Why did he wait till today when some NCA board members have started resigning due to the scandal? I guess the NCA has issued a statement about this matter. Maybe we should have a look at it. Okay. Don't fall for it. If Nyantakyi is being arrested, Honorable Eslawusu must face the law. Okay. Joyce says that, why this song? Oh no, that's just a teaser by OMG Ghana and we just showed it. It's just showing the creativity of our young people who are doing a lot with videos and computer these days. Nana Ni says that, them for arrest this man no matter what. He is a disgrace after spoiling Ghana football. Okay. I don't expect Paul to speak about the scandal at Communications Ministry since he's part of them. Am I part of them? Okay. Songo, come for your stone, they say. He was supposed to be arrested 5 years ago. Okay. Kwesi Nyantakyi didn't see this coming. Okay. The idea of president bringing Kwesi Nyantakyi to book just reminds me of a former Russian president called... I can't pronounce the name. I know you've skipped pronouncing the name. Oh, yes, I have.
That's a good one.
Oh, you made my night. Your name is Moscow August. Is that your name? Okay. I know you've skipped pronouncing. Yes, I have skipped pronouncing the name. I'll stop right there. I don't like laziness. Oh, okay. And then he has laughter. That's beautiful. Thank you very much for giving us some humor at 3 minutes past 10 o'clock in the night on Tuesday when we are discussing this matter. Now, Anas has a video which apparently appears to contain the name of Akufo-Addo and Baumia. Anas works directly under Mr. Kweku Bakun. Mr. Bakun is a close friend of the president and the government. What is the guarantee that the aspects that will implicate the president will not be edited out before the public gets the opportunity of viewing the video? I don't know. Koku Abochi says, when Kwesi Nyantakyi was busily pumping money into the president's campaign, I don't know that. And tonight, people around the president have denied a close relationship with the president. Gary, you said that on radio, and it was corrected by Evans Mensah when he was with you. Okay, Justice Adom-Otchere says the media is our problem in this country. Why trying to tackle the issues with law? I don't understand that. I'm getting more and more informed, Nancy says. Thank you very much for your program. A good day for Ghana football. Finally, the thief has been caught. All glory to God. This guy has been messing up the entire GFA for years. The time, it says, is now. Mohammed Fatal says the ugliness end of power of the GFA boss. One says, good evening, Paul. On the 19th of March 2018, Ghana Web published Mahama block probe of Kwesi Nyantakyi GFA activities. I've not seen that. I don't know what you're saying. I knew this will come, somebody says. Nyantakyi has been criticized for a long time. The leaders on the other side were just not doing nothing about their jobs, etc., etc. A whole gamut of text messages. Paul will definitely seize the moment to project his president as incorruptible, referring to the statement I read about Rawlings saying that Nana Akufo-Addo was not corruptible. Who doesn't know the president is reacting the way he is doing because his integrity has been called into question? Okay. Wow. My first time seeing such a huge viewers on Good Evening Ghana. Now the story is getting more and more interesting. I'm so sorry for Kwesi Nyantakyi, such a promising dude. Thanks to you, Paul, and your panelists. I think you are doing a fair job. Okay. Damage control on what? If this had happened in the States, he will be arrested so fast his head will spin. You people are so corrupt that you defend corruption. Well, is that what we are doing? Who watches over the watchman, is said. So many text messages. I think the program has generated quite a huge interest, as one of our people said. Let me go to my friend Shabash in Medina. He says, is the President of the Republic not preempting the soon-to-be viewed Anas video against Paul Nyantakyi? That's the point in Krabia Fadate is making. And you think that point has a reasonable grounds of success in court?
No, you see, so I was trying to explain the issue about prejudice. You see, the video has been recorded and it's already in existence. Is that not it?
Yeah.
Whatever the case is, it will be used somehow along the line as evidence. Now, showing it earlier, I'm not sure it's going to change the facts in any way. It will only whip up public sentiment in respect of the matter.
Yes, but really, in terms of the injunction, the prejudice thing, there's a public showing that's been advertised, and there's a public showing in box office and also on television.
Yes.
So
my question is, how is it going to prejudice the outcome of the trial?
Because everyone who watches the video will believe that this guy is guilty of the offense.
Yeah, but whatever it is, the same video will be used in court as a basis to make a determination. So it won't change anything.
Yes, but in terms of the public, seeing it, talking about it, the amount of airtime space that will be devoted to it, the amount of writing, it will create a preponderance of a certain angle of the investigation.
It can influence the judge's call.
It can influence judges, it can influence...
It's that's a point, that's a problem. You see, the judges are going to deal with the evidence in court. They are going to evaluate the evidence, assuming that it's admitted. Is that not it?
Even this video that OMG have done.
Yes.
You see, even this one.
Yes.
Let's have a look at the video again so that I think the point can be made.
Yeah.
Let's have a look at that. If you look at this video, what does it create in your mind? If you're a police officer, you're a judge, you're an average Ghanaian secondary school, university boy, you look at this video. Let's have a look at the video, the OMG music thing.
Of him running away.
Where you have Kwesi Nyantakyi running and...
but is it one of the videos that are going to be...
No, this one is just OMG put it together.
So that one is a different matter.
Yeah, this is it.
Yeah.
So have a look at this.
Yeah.
Sounds.
Mama Kuma Minya Mikasa Ameradikasa Eradikasa Mama Kuma Tomiyomo Minya Mikasa Minya Mikasa Ameradikasa Eradikasa Mama Kuma Tomiyomo Minya Mikasa
So this is suable.
Well, I think this is suable.
Really?
I think this is suable.
So you can sue as creating prejudice for the outcome of the...
I think you can sue... But you see, here we are. This is a matter which has just begun. Final determinations are yet to be made on this matter. Now you begin to create an impression in the eyes of the public. I mean, do you know what inference people are going to make from that video? I mean, it's more like the man has already been condemned because he's been chased.
So shall I issue a disclaimer now that this is not a Good Evening Ghana production? We don't believe in it.
You should issue a disclaimer.
We just showed it. It's an OMG production. We don't believe in it.
You don't believe in it, definitely, because this alone can sustain a course of action against those who produce this video.
Yeah. Okay, I'll come to you, Guy, about where you think this is going tomorrow and the day after. But there's a question here for you, lawyer. It says that, and it's from another lawyer. He says, where was the crime committed against Tiger Eye, Morocco? Does the Ghana police have jurisdiction?
Well, you see, it's not about, so I think what he's trying to say is that the offense was committed outside the jurisdiction.
If it's an offense.
Yes. So really, I know that the way things work, I mean, it's possible that once the offense has been committed out of the country, if it's an offense here in Ghana, I believe that it could be taken up under the laws of this country. Yes.
Gary, finally, where do you think this is going? I know tomorrow morning you'll be on radio and I'll be listening. Where is it going?
There'll be a lot of public sentiment. People will not listen to reason because in the eyes of the public, the public temperature about Kwesi Nyantakyi has been hot for a very, very long time because of issues that we know very well. So on the public side, yes, that's what people are going to feel. The media is not going to help as for that. Discussions like Good Evening Ghana, where it's going to be reason, dispassionate analysis, and they are not going to be a lot. There's going to be a lot of...
So the phone lines are going to be open tomorrow on Fire for Fire?
Yeah, but Songo is not around, so but it will be open, and
in Kumasi and all of those places. Joe Lakai and all these guys are going to be on it.
Yeah, so and that's where it's going to go. But from the GFA point of view, so for example, today the offices were locked of the GFA, were locked. We don't know what response, but they won't respond. Even if they do, they will say that
will the Football Association, who like Kwesi Nyantakyi, those people that the mafia control, would they come out to defend him?
Well, it's the first thing I said on Joy FM, I'm sure you heard, was this is where we need to see his friends. At the airport, if they know the time he is coming, they have to be there. If they know.
Well, he needs that.
He needs that. At this point, he needs that. He stood for them for years and years and years, and he's not had anything like
including
this
the footballers like Stephen Appiah and
no, they can't be seen doing that because they are not employees of but the so-called football people,
the GFA people,
they have to be seen rallying behind him. They have to go on radio to defend their guy. Some of the stalwarts have been on radio preempting this already because they knew it was going to happen. So you had the Western Regional Football Association guy saying that how does he come and bribe you and making the like entrapment?
What about religion? We are in the holy month of Ramadan.
Yes, and he's a Muslim. Yeah, and that there's so many angles.
Will that also?
There's so many angles that are going to be played around.
So the story is not over yet.
No, it's not beginning.
It's just beginning.
Because you see, what the final thing I'd like to say is that the presidency have been very, very smart about this, because the man Nana Akufo-Addo, the president, is known or has this impression of being implacable, being incorruptible, clean, spotless. So he had to do this for his reputation as well. 2, the opposition NDC, if this video had come on the set before Nana-Addo had done something, they would have wiped him on the floor. They would have destroyed him.
Yeah, just preempted.
So they've just taken the wind out of the sails of the thing. They've taken
the thunder. On the PR, the Jubilee House is leading.
Right now, they're in a comfortable lead. But you see, the opposition as we speak now, they are probably printing some newspapers, some headlines, and something.
Okay, I have to wrap it up.
Yeah.
Thank you, Gary. I know you have to rush. 30 minutes past 10 o'clock. Thank you so much. Excellent. Lawyer, thank you. When I have a case, I'll call you.
You're welcome.
It's been a very enlightening from
Yes, he's done very well. He's done very well as a law teacher. And viewers, thanks for watching. Good night. Bye.